you know what, we have times in our lives when we go through difficulties. And there's times when we feel that we're lost and we don't have anything to grab onto. How many of you have ever gone through things like that in your life? Your relationships, your finances, maybe you're having to take care of a friend who's dying. It doesn't matter. It's always that we come into a place where we have to understand that there's a trust and faith in God. And I realize that my trust and faith in God is so strong and so powerful. And the reason why it's so strong and powerful, I have, from the day that I started actually going to a church. I started at Unity, then I went to Agape, and then I went to La Crescenta, then I ended up here. But I always know without a doubt that I have God in my pocket. And I always know that I have trust and faith that things are going to work out. Now sometimes there's going to be situations or time periods where we lose our faith and where we come into a place of separation. Do you know what that feels like? It feels like we have no place to go. We've lost all hope. Things aren't working anymore. And as we feel that, know that we're going into the depth of God. We're going deep unto deep, because those emotions of despair and anger and pain allow us to move into a space of oneness and connection to God. And you're going, well, how is that going to happen? How can it happen? Because when we're in that place of pain and fear and worry and doubt, we are crying, we are crawling, and we're praying, aren't we? Because I know when I'm in that space, I'm like, what? It's not working, baby. And I go back to what I know. And what I know is to go to prayer. And what I know is that that always shores me up. That always brings me back to my oneness and my connection to God. And I know that when I have that, and I feel that vibrational frequency, I know things are going to be all right. And here's the good thing about being in that place of despair and pain, anger and fear, that God has a plan for you. Your soul is saying, you know what, you were just on the shallow side of being with God. I'm going to take you deeper. I'm going to take you into a place that you have never experienced before. And when you get to that other side, oh Lord have mercy, you have the joy you feel as a little child. You feel the power and the presence. You feel that exuberance. When you see these gurus and you see these teachers and they're so joy-filled, it's because they've been through a lot of pain, they've been through a lot of fear. You know, one of my favorite beloved teachers is Paramahansa Yogananda. And he has his hair down here, little guru from India. He came over here in the 30s. And people didn't know who he was. But because he exuded such a love and a beautiful energy, and he essentially taught science of mind. He was teaching a very simple method of connecting to spirit. So he did it through his teaching, but he also did it to allow people to come into themselves rather than moving outside of themselves. And that's really what it's about, because we have to continuously come into the depth of who we are. Now what's going to happen is sometimes we'll have situations or things that are going to challenge us. Or if we have individuals that are sniping or we're not feeling good about ourselves, that's also a time to know that it's to allow God to love us. It's a time to allow Spirit to move into us, to transmute whatever is going on, to let go of the past, and to claim the power and the presence of God. Because I know there's times when I felt very weak, and I realized in that moment that I needed to claim the I am presence and who I am. And I needed to let go of old, and this is what I loved about the speakers last week, is that they were talking about how we have old programming and things in our bodies and in our psyche. And it wasn't that we were born with that. We were born, I look at my grandkids, I look at your children, and they're so happy and exuberant, they're dancing, not a care in the world. What happens to us? What happened to those babies? What happened to us? And what happened was life. And all we can do as a parent for our children or to reparent ourselves is to remind ourselves that we have that love always. And no matter, and I love that. So when he's singing that song, that's God singing to you. Ishay's just singing about God loving us and following your road and following what you need to be and where you need to go. And that's exactly what happens. I saw a movie called The Yes Man. Did you ever see it with Jim Carrey? Okay, that was a spiritual movie. Because the yes man, he was saying no, no, no. He was essentially saying no to God. He was saying no all the time. And he was complacent. He was just home watching videos. His wife had left him, and he was upset. And so he went to a seminar, and the guru said, you have to say yes. You have to say yes to bring your life into fullness. And you have to make a covenant with the yes. And so he took it so literally that he said yes to everything. He said yes to finding a wife online. He said yes. He said yes to an old lady next door. And we won't go into that. And then he said yes and yes and yes and yes. But the qualities of the yes is exactly what I'm telling you. When we step into the yes with God, when we say, yes, I'm fully present, yes, I am going to take on whatever it is, and we let go of the fear, this energy comes into our lives to infuse us, to bless us, and bring us into harmony, doesn't it? Because think about when we are in a place of, oh, I don't know if I could do that, oh, I don't know, or we're in a place of victimhood, or we're in a place of sadness and anger. So as I'm being with this talk, I'm going, wow, you know, sometimes when we're really down, people kick us, don't they? And then you got to say, I must have a kick me sign on me. So we have to take it off and know that God loves us no matter what. And that Spirit is always there, anointing us and blessing us. And that's really it. So if you want a teaching, Diana, so what it is, you pray. And you pray to release out whatever it is that you need to release out. You pray that you're allowing the love of the divine to come through you. You pray knowing that all is well in spite of the outer circumstances. And that's all we really need to do. It's that simple. I was talking to my mom, who's now 90, oh my gosh, she'll be 94. And she said, people don't believe it's that simple. I said, they don't. We make it complicated because we get stuck in our heads, we get stuck in our mind, and we allow the mind to control our lives. As we become masters and mistresses of our mind, we allow ourselves to have another thought, or to pray, or to meditate, or to chant, whatever tools we need to have, then we're allowing ourselves to be more fully present for God and the blessings of God. So there's a book, and I was supposed to endorse it, and I completely forgot about it. It was like written in 2013, but it's, dear God, show me a signal. Show me a signal. And I'm saying, show me a sign. Now, when there's difficult times, and I want you to get real present to this, that God's always giving us a signal and a sign, always. So when there's situations going on in a relationship and you're having problems with the relationship, there's going to be signs and signals that are blessing you, giving you joy, and giving you that freedom. When you have problems with the finances, when you have problems with your health, there's signs and signals saying, I'm here for you, baby girl. I'm here for you. And I will take care of you, my beloved. And know that, and believe that, and accept that. Because as we know that truth, we just have to become awake and aware. I taught a class where I said, let's step into the mystical depth of God. And do you know how you step into the mystical depth of God? You look around you and see what's fully present in your life. There was a few people that they have signs and they get all these blessings and all these things coming into their life, and they don't believe it. And they said, well, nothing great is happening in my life. And oh my gosh, you got the car loan, you got this, or whatever the case may be, or a man or a woman came into your life, or your health improved. I forgot about that. So I'm just here to remind you to be present to all of the love that's always surrounding us. Be aware, be awake. And if your mind's taking us, and if it's taking us into a place of distress or anger or pain, say, dear God, I'm going to give this to you. I don't know what to do with it. I turn it over to you. I surrender it up. And that is the best way to allow your soul to help you to come into your power and presence and to allow yourself to have that deep connection with God. And that's really it. It's that simple. So I had a few things that I was reading, and one of them I just happened to pull out the daily word, and it says, I appreciate all that I am. So when we are going through these times, appreciate and love who you are. Find somebody that's going to just listen to you and bless you and give you what you need in order to feel good about yourself. Because God's already doing that. We just forgot. So on this, I appreciate all that I am, and I want to close with this, because as we give gratitude for ourselves and who we are, for we're fabulous, aren't we?
Yes.
We are fabulous here, right? And you know what? I'm like Jim Carrey. I say yes. Okay? And as we say yes, and we say yes into our life, then allow that yes to pull us into a higher level of awakening, a higher level of happiness, and a higher level of joy. So I'm just going to say this little quick prayer as a closing. To recognize with gratitude is to honor someone or something. Am I appreciating myself and those around me? My true nature, my I am, is born of the divine. I am stronger than I believe, living from my spiritual essence. I enjoy more peace, power, and appreciation than I could ever imagine. I cherish my relationships and carefully nurture them. I have a full, rich life with divine beings that I respect and admire. Yes? We agree? Yes. My experiences in life can also be gratifying, even during painful times. Each one is an opportunity to learn and grow along my spiritual journey. Deep calling unto deep. I'm going to add on that. Practicing gratitude opens the way to the greater happiness. I appreciate all that I am. And let's just say that one more time and after me. I appreciate all that I am.
I appreciate all